Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's the same Hoop Talk crew as usual. This is season three, ladies and gentlemen. We are on episode three, I want to say, right? Episode three of Hoop Talk, the podcast. Man, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all hit that like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Show some love. We're going to have our names on the screen here in a second so you know who it is, man. But if you don't already, then go back to the other videos. Check out what we're all about. We do commentary on live games. We do podcasting. We do this. We do that. We do the third. All right. So tap in with us. But let's get right into it. Our primary topic of the day and our primary topic probably for the rest of the year. GM5 week 3, ladies and gentlemen. We have 4 games of wonderful action. Let's talk through them. Let's make this nice and quick. We had game 1, City Ballers versus Count Up, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't have it up. Yep, there you go. City Balls is a count up, man. Y'all telling me. Let's start with the good stuff today. Let's start with the positives. What were some good things you saw? Whether it be highlights, performances, improvements, whatever it is. Let's start with the positives first.
I have a question real quick about kind of did they take like falling lessons? Because the way that they fall on their back perfectly on every drive is like Jalen bro had to play football at some point.
He
Because
did. He
every
did.
finish he's getting like he was getting smacked, he's getting touched, he was finishing it, but you see him on the ground. They looked in control of everything. I'll talk about in a second when I kind of go in the negative about like some stuff with City Ballers. Because Jalen was just getting everything against them. He was just slicing and dicing their defense like completely. On the other side, though, Canup also made some really great additions. I think at this point that roster is kind of set to where I think that they could really compete. I like Nicholas Troy. I think he was a great addition to them. Kevin Rulock, he looked great. Like them adding those two brought you some real size. You created a ton of mismatch throughout the game. They were leading, for 3.5 quarters of that entire game realistically. So they played really well with those additions. I like that team. I think you kind of figure out some roster construction there as far as it comes to like lineups, as far as it comes to minutes, who's gonna be playing what. I think that team's gonna be dangerous too. And count up, count up delivered. Count up came and they did what they needed to do, and they absolutely.
Pluto.
Uh, my bad, y'all. Had to fix my lighting. But I would say I'm with Tyler on that. I think Count Up this week really they kept doing what they were supposed to do, and I mentioned it when I was talking about it. Their biggest thing is consistency. They have to stay consistent. They have a very good team. They have 2 6'8" dudes and up. They're very big. They can match up with size, and we found out this week that they can go double big as well because both their bigs can shoot. um, on top of that, you have 2 guards, crafty guards that are brothers that kind of play alike. So if one subs in, you have someone who can kind of duplicate what the other is doing to some regard, and you still have Jalen, top defender in the league. Like I said, when you go to your house, your stove stops working, the microwave starts acting weird, nothing wants to work anymore because he cuts things off. So at the end of the
Oh wait,
day,
does he have a
Mhm.
nickname?
No, but we need to find him one. Like
We're gonna
he
call
is
him
a
Off Night.
disruptor.
That's gonna be
Yeah, we're
Off
gonna
Night
figure
from
it
now
out.
on.
Say it again.
Off Night.
Off night. I like off night. I think it's pretty dope. Sounds like a Marvel character. But regardless, just like Lana says, just point out the good things. Because I want to point out the good things I saw in City Baller. They are going to be a formidable team moving on. The record does not matter right now. They have pieces that are going to gel. They have players that are trying to figure themselves out. They were after. They were there the whole day after their game. They had the first game of the day, and the whole day they were talking about how they can get better, what we can do, what and Phil just want to shout him out again, bro. He's really working on how he explains things and shows his emotions, and I want to shout that out because he's always been like kind of this title as like the bad kid, but like when you see growth in a hooper, whether it be mentally, physically, whatever you do, you got to show him credit where it's at, and he did a lot of things to keep him in this game as well. But at the end of the day, they're going to learn to work each other, trust each other, and it's going to be a really good team. If the playoffs come and they knock out a number one team or a number two team, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked because they have capabilities, the height, the size, especially the size, like Tyler Batter. You have a center who's 6'7", 6'5", and put a hole in a 7 footer this week. We have
Oh
another
yeah.
guy. we have a we have another guy on their team now who's also another 6'5", 6'6" guy. So the whole size matters thing really does matter with this team because now they're a completely different team when it comes to their front court. And they have a playmaker, and I think Phil's a playmaker. I think they can make this work. I still do think they need a real point guard at the starting position, but regardless, I think Trap should have never been taken out the game. I think Trap is a great defender in this league as well, maybe a top 10 defender when you really look at the analytics like Tyler did and he presented to us earlier today. He is a great defender and a great shooter on top of that. So those are like my positive key points.
Some of those did not sound very positive, but hey, well, I guess we'll move on. Yeah, I mean, City Ballers. I like what I saw from City Ballers. I say that was my highlight of the day, even though, or for them at least, for that game. I mean, even though they lost the game, I do think I enjoyed what they are gonna bring to the table going forward. City Ballers, they need a good season. They've had a losing record in the GM5 2 seasons in a row, and I don't recall the first 2 seasons. I don't believe City Ballers were a thing the first 2 seasons, but they got to bounce back. They got to finish. They got to try and finish this season with a winning record, and I think what they've assembled roster wise has the capability of doing so. So I enjoyed seeing the addition to Kevin Rulock. That is a unique pickup, someone that I wouldn't expect to have seen in the GM5. And I like the addition of Nick Choi as well. I think he's going to do good things for them. And then Kenny Long wasn't there, so that could be a difference maker as well. Having more weapons available could definitely allow his inner playmaker to finally shine, because that is a big part of his game. And not to mention, it's going to open up his ability to score as well, because there's going to be a lot of threats on the floor available for him to kind of, use to his advantage to get his looks and to get his opportunities. So I enjoy what City Ball has put together. I'd say that's my favorite part, but of course, Jalen had himself a good game. 21 points, if I'm not mistaken. He was having his way. And I think that's kind of where my negatives are going to start. Is I wasn't a fan of how the defensive scheme looked for the City Ballers. I think they chose to stick with what they believe was going to be offense, and it didn't result in offense, and no changes were made after that offense that they were expecting never showed up. Right, so you got to make a quicker decision at that point. We can sub in these players like Spark, for example, hoping that he's going to provide this, hoping that he's going to provide that. But if he does not, you got to make that decision quick. You know what I mean? How many possessions am I going to give you until I just realize, you're not the offensive spark plug we need right now. So let's go back to defense, right? So I wasn't a fan of some of the decisions that were made down the stretch for City Ballers, but you live and you learn. So hopefully they learn for next week.
Yeah. So actually, I can kind of go next onto some of the defense, or onto some of the negatives. I think it kind of revolved around their defense. I think it was kind of coaching decision as well. I understand sticking by your guys. Spark has been on City Ballers for at least 2 years since 2023, probably longer than that. As well as Phil, they've kind of been together. So I understand riding by him and letting him see if it works. Keeping Spark in to try to hit a shot, but his shot wasn't necessarily, and he wasn't the best defensive option against Jalen. So I don't understand why you didn't bring Trap in at all. Trap only played 12 minutes that entire game. I went through and I double checked. He only played 7 minutes of the first half. He played 2.5 minutes, or I'm sorry, 7 minutes of the first quarter, 2.5 minutes. I'm doing my math wrong. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. He only played the first half. Never touched the second half at all. The second half is where they had the run, where Count Up completely took over the game again. They had a 18-point lead on them at one point in the point differential Count Up, only in 2 quarters. That's only in the fourth quarter and overtime. And there was no changes made. We ended up taking Spark out, but Trap never saw the floor again. So you ended up having Phil, who is their primary scorer. He was kind of leading the offense. Now that role, as well as being the primary defender on Jalen. And Jalen was taking advantage of that. He was getting a lot of free throws. He was getting a lot of fouls. He was getting the switches that he wanted whenever Dom was on him or Spark. And I think you really have to look into your roster. If you're kind of getting cooked, that's the best way I could put it, because they were absolutely getting cooked in that fourth quarter and overtime. You're not getting a defensive stop, and you have someone who is a bigger body and can hit that shot. I don't know why you don't bring Trap into that situation. Trap in the first quarter held Jalen scoreless when he was defending it. He missed 3 shots on him. In the second quarter, he misses 2 more. He does not score on Trap at all in 5 shots that he attempted. I don't know why you don't go back to him. Jalen had like a career night. That's probably going to be his best night of the season because that was an amazing night. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
You got to make some sort of adjustments.
Hey,
You
listen,
have to change something.
that City Ballers defense got people thinking Jalen Monroe is an MVP candidate. You know what I mean? That's what you did. That's a defensive performance you put out there. Now we got names being submitted. It's like I want Jalen for MVP. I was like, well, listen, if you get it, you get it. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but that's what City Ballers did. Because the defense
Yeah.
just wasn't locked in. Now he's an MVP candidate. You know what I mean? So yeah, they got
And
to
that's
do
not a
better.
knock on Jalen, just in case, because the way you position that sounds kind of bad. Jalen's a dog, but Jalen offensively, we know he's gonna put more effort defensively. We know he's gonna exert a lot more energy defensively. This is not the typical Jalen you expect to see. But like, I don't know. He was out there having a. He looked like he was enjoying basketball to the full extent. I
it's
saw him
also
smile.
yeah, but we gotta do give credit to like how the offense is shaped now. The offense is not the same offense it was last year. A lot of mid-range scorers, a lot of people who weren't really adept shooters. You got a person like Beans. Your big men are more comfortable shooting in this league. You add other shooters to that team. I forgot the other shooter they added, but you add that space for someone like Jalen, who's a dominant, a person who likes to get to the hole. You should see ticks in his offense. You should see ticks in him getting to the basket. It's also how the offense is set up. I mean, when you have all these shooters with a person who likes to slash, it's proven that that works. And Jalen's also a person who can kick out at times, not all the time, but can kick out to an open shooter, which will definitely help. And it's not just this helping out Jalen; it also helps Lito out. I've yet to check Lito's assist margins or anything like that, but also him being able to find shooters and things like that helps Lito out. Lito's a natural slasher as well. I know a lot of people don't see it because he's 5'9", but he can get to the cup. And me and Tyler will have moments in the game where we'll watch him do at least 2 or 3 times where he has flashes where his hands over the rim. It's a clear over the rim. He's just trying to lay it in over a defender who's like 6'7", 6'5". So it's just like it complements him better this year. It's just a better fit for him. And I think this is going to help them out at the end of the day. I think the biggest thing, and I've mentioned it and harped on it three times now, their big men can shoot. There's not a lot of big men in this league who can shoot. I can only name a couple other like Liam. I can't think of anybody else really like off the top of my head that I can be like, yeah, they have a big man who's a limited. I mean, Nick at times is a great mid-range shooter as well. Sean Suko can hit the three. He's capable of.
I
But
wouldn't
when we're
say
talking
at
like
Sean,
times.
Sean was looking like Brooke Lopez the other day. That's all I'm
I
saying. Or
mean,
was that? Yeah, he was Brooke out there.
yeah, at times he can shoot the ball and spread the floor, but these guys look like Johnny. I mean, I didn't know it until Nas mentioned it. Johnny can shoot. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I started calling him Chris Bosh, but but at the end of the day, you got guys who you got floor spreaders, so that's definitely going to compliment Jalen. I don't mind seeing him as an MVP candidate within a top five, but I don't see him as an MVP front runner this year. There's a lot of other people. There's a guy who came back this week. We won't say his name just yet. Who had a
Listen,
very very great showing.
I'm gonna tell you right now before we get into it. I'm gonna claim my stake for Tommy as MVP. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Hey,
Well,
you just stole that from me, mother
I did.
man. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of good things happen and a lot of bad things happen for City Ballers. It's just it's another close game that could have been won with better decision making. I mean, it was overtime. You know what I mean? So they got to figure out a way to close out games better. And I think it's all about who's your final unit. And Kevin Rulock, very capable player. My biggest suggestion is that you got to feed him more. You got to feed him more because 7 points is just not enough. And obviously that's on
yeah.
him as well. He has to be more aggressive. But it's a new team, so he's trying to get used to it. He's not trying to overwhelm anybody with his presence. So I imagine there's going to be some getting used to the situation as they continue to go on. GM5 is a long season, about 13, 14 weeks. So he has all the time in the world to get used to it. But I mean, we'll see. City Ballers have had a poor showing in the GM5 thus far, and I'm very hopeful because last season we said it. It was always a close game. They always had the ability to win. They just couldn't close it out. And I mean, here we are, another week of the same thing. So we got to figure out, City
Literally,
Ballers, what's it gonna take to close it out? What are you
we
gonna?
could be. Mhm. I apologize, and I'll finish up. My bad.
No, I was just saying, like, what are you gonna do? That's what you have to figure out. Like, you do everything that you need to do to keep a game closer to get yourself a lead. Figure out where is it going wrong that you just cannot keep the lead, that you just cannot close the game out. That's what's happening, and you guys got to figure that out. Watch the film and figure out in that second half, why do we crumble? Why can we not keep it together in the second half?
It's
Yeah, I
decision
was gonna
making. I
say.
can tell you 100%. I've watched every game. I've gone back to double check. In that fourth quarter, it's 100%, and it's sometimes from Rob the coach, but oftentimes it's the players on the court. So it's some sort of decision that you got to make better.
And Rob's new, so Rob's like a
Yeah.
new addition to them. There, it's not something that's been there every week since last year. But we can be talking about the City Ballers as being a top 3 team if they close out their last probably 10 games,
He coached them
and
before
that's
though.
crazy. That and then that's what's crazy to me. We could be talking about City Baller being a powerhouse team, even with the team they had last year, just by them closing games out or even finishing up with 3 or 4 more points a game. It's I mean, you
Yeah.
can say that about a lot of teams, but it's scary because of the margin of how they lose. It's always the same by 2 to 5 points. It's never anything that's a blowout. They're never getting their ass whooped. They just
But it's always a
always
crumble. So
yeah, it's
it's
always
always
like
a
a
big crumble. Like this game, for example,
yeah.
they were up 47-34 at the beginning of the fourth quarter in a running clock game with 10 minutes. That's bad. That's really bad. That's
And Beans
bad.
didn't have a Beans game. That's what we. Beans
No.
did not have a
Yeah.
Beans game. If Beans would have had a Beans game with the shots, I mean, we both being. I mean, we all three. I think we took. He took a lot of difficult shots, and I think
That was
that's
the
something we
defense that
do
Phil
need.
was playing on him too, though. That was
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but we do need to address that. I think Beans needs to let a lot of offense. I mean, it's also up to the guards and other players to find them, but kind of get him easier shots. I think that's the thing with Luke Doyle. He gets a lot of easy shots. I think a lot of players do get a lot of easy shots. The good shooters get easy shots because their teammates, set them up. And talking about easy shots, Marquise on City Baller side too has not have a great showing to the beginning of the season. And I didn't want to say it because I just remember because we're talking about players not making their shots. He's had not, and he was a volume shot maker, and that's hard to put together. But he could make shots and take a lot of them, and they need that again. He was their
Dude,
spark
10
plug,
threes a game, bro. 10
and
threes a
he was
game. You
making them
hitting
at least
40%.
6 to 7 of them. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like you like they need that again. They need that spread of offense too. But I think having the big guy, the new big power forward they have on their team, Kevin, I think
Well,
that's really going to help them out a lot. It's going to help people out like him. It's going to help people out like Phil. Even Nick Choi off some Nick Choi has some pretty good handoff passes he was giving to Phil and some actions there. So again, it's just gelling, and I think we do like we did last year. I think we have a high standard for them. They just got to get it done because the whole thing we were saying the fourth quarter. Now Tyler will say it, and I hate to say it on camera, they're gonna crumble. I see it. It's their mo. Like if I was a better and it was plus 17 and they were down
you
by
said
5 points with 2 minutes. No, I said that. I said
Oh,
that.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. I said their MO is that they don't finish games. If I was a parlay guy, which I am, I would take if City Ballers had 5 points left and they were up, I would take the other team to win because it's proven that they don't close games out. And it's no disrespect. You guys just got to finish the job. Job's not done until the job's done.
Yeah, Pluto's not getting a jersey. We can see that for sure.
I
What about
love their
game number
jersey, by
two?
the way.
And not to beat a
I
dead
do.
horse, but we have more games, of course, that happened. A blowout for the day. Unfortunately, we had OTB finally assembling their full roster up against the Vipers.
The
Excuse me.
fucking Avengers out there, bro. That's what it felt like.
their,
Tried to
their
hold that
big
sneeze
man
in
was
so
having
bad.
a field day. Their big man was having a
Yeah,
field.
OTB took that game by 23 points, 83-60. This was OTB's second game of the season because they had a bye week early on in week two. And yeah, their full roster was able to attend, or at least the full roster that they are going to be moving forward to. They had a couple names on the roster that did not show up, but Willie Nunez was there. He had 14 points. But Romello Bates is back in the GM5 again. He had 15. Luke Doyle played again. He played in game one as well. He had 16. Josh Filmer had 11, and Keith Clanton had 21, 22, it was just an overall showing. Everybody who stepped on the court was just out there to put in work. And it was a phenomenal thing to see. I've been trying to warn everybody since week one. When Keith comes into the court, you're gonna see something. You're gonna see something. That man is big. He has a big ass body.
We saw something.
He's gonna take advantage of it.
Bro,
The Vipers did
it's a
not look too
walking
good.
building.
But what are your takes from that game?
There was a point where, like, we know Liam. Liam is a great fucking defender. He's a big body. There was a point where Keith got positioned inside of him like it was nothing. Like, he just slightly moved him over and went up with it. No contest or anything.
Not
like,
entirely.
It's tough, bro.
Not entirely ready to commit to the idea that Liam is a great defender, but he is a big body. I can agree with that part.
I think he's a pretty good defender. I mean, I don't. You don't see him get posted up. We see him, defending the rim, and I don't think he's bad at that. But like, how many bigs have post moves?
The post
like now
up
you
is,
got Keith and you have Nick.
The post up is more of a size thing than it is a defense thing.
Yeah, I will say this. The big guy on OTB. Go ahead with the name again, so I can get it right.
Keith.
Keith made Liam so uncomfortable. At one point, we hear Keith saying, "Bring Liam in, bring Liam in."
Oh, that's just. Oh, man. I like that. I like that.
And I see why, because like Liam was not comfortable. He pushed him out to be a shooter. Liam can shoot, but I don't think that's where his game is the best. I think he's really good at that. Inner post-up game, trying to pick off the little defenders and getting good switches. I think Liam's really good off a switch, but I think Keith is going to. We'll disagree together. But I will say that Keith did.
What?
I said we'll disagree on that. Your disagreement later. But let me just get to this point right here.
What?
Keith is looking like and poised to be a gravitational pull. And what I mean by that is he's going to suck a lot of defense in. We saw Melo take more shots. We saw Luke take more shots. Sorry, Nas, okay?
Hey, Nas is a child, bro. When we were reporting on the broadcast, this man is a certified child.
Bro, no cap. He got me like 3 times on the broadcast. Regardless, though, the fact that he can suck his defenders in and he kicks it out to the shooters, which is a big thing for big men. Dwight Howard in his prime was pretty good at doing that as well, flipping it right back out once the defense came to car to stop him in the inside. I think Keith is going to be very valuable. I thought at one point they were missing Melo, but they're missing Keith, and I hope it's a continuous thing. I hope he stays healthy. He's a bigger dude, but I think OTB could really be someone to be reckoned with the season going forward, man. For sure.
Yeah,
I think they're looking good. Huh?
I know.
You
at
think?
this point,
They're the defending champions. That's not like a for sure thing.
It's a for sure thing that fucking.
We talked about that.
Managed to have.
It's a little different.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. Every broadcast, every podcast, I'm gonna say it. I believe OTB looks better on paper than they did last year. I'm gonna keep saying that.
I agree. I've learned after this weekend, you put Romello on any team, they're automatically going to win. They're automatically certified like favorites.
And that's only because Tim wasn't there long. That's the only reason I say that. So I'm not counting Tim's roster spot on that team because he wasn't there very long. So that's the reason I say that. Removing Tim from the equation, the biggest loss is obviously Rod. And that's why I say that. You add Terrell Christian, you add Keith Clanton, you bring back Romello, you bring back Luke. You add Josh Filmer coming off the bench. It's one hell of a team. Add Willie Nunez. Let's not forget about Willie Nunez, huh?
Actually,
I was saying Fillmore, amazing addition.
Amazing. Yeah, Josh Filmer, phenomenal addition. He's a hot hand off the bench immediately. Very aggressive scorer. Brings that Monte Ellis, Luke Williams type of impact to a team.
Can handle the ball. Not a bad passer from what we saw.
Yeah, I believe they look better on paper, but that's only taking into consideration that I'm not taking into consideration Tim, because I think Tim and Keith have a good way to offset each other talent-wise, because Tim has that outside game. He's very big inside as well, very athletic, but he wasn't there long enough. So because of that is why I keep saying that OTB looks better now than they did last year. Not because they lost Rod and Rod wasn't good for them. That's not what I'm saying. Those words have never come out of my mouth. I'm just saying by comparison, roster to roster, I think this roster looks better.
Yeah, last thing I want to touch on. Well, yeah, me too. Last thing I want to touch on, 2 things I figured out this weekend. The Vipers never picked up Willie. That's big because most of his friends, all his friends, are on the Vipers. He let me know that. I asked him, I was like, "Why aren't you on the Vipers?" He's like, "They didn't pick me up." So number two, another thing I saw with Willie, I caught him on the way out when he was leaving. I was like, "Bro, this is gonna be so
The
good for
Vipers are
you."
a
I
different
told
team,
him
though.
that is true, but those are still all his
They used to
homeboys.
be. Well, he was on a team with them at one point.
No, who started?
Yeah.
Who started? Yeah, but who started UGK is not who started Vipers. That's what I'm saying. And then, but Willie was on OTB originally.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, he
But
played with
but
OTB
back to
in 2023 when Squad X was there.
before, was it before our era? But back to what I was gonna go say, I was saying, I asked Willie, how does this feel? And he's like, man, this is gonna be easier for me, and it is. He's a scorer who has capability of he's a 3 level scorer. He can get inside, he can shoot a midi, he can shoot the three. I think losing Rod and adding Willie, which is size, not saying of a bit of a defender, but size. He's a bigger body and a shooter, a unicorn type shooter at your power forward position. Man, they low key that, and then you still have Keith there. You're just added another shooter for a shooter. I mean, Rod's capability in playmaking and just overall, I think Rod's a better player, but I think Willie is a good partnership with this team. I think the fit is great for them.
You replaced.
Look at
100%.
that squad. That squad has it's composed of Melo, a really unselfish point guard, Keith, who we've seen was very unselfish that game, and three unselfish shooters surrounding them. In one of Luke, one of Terrell, and one of Willie. Along with their bench, they have Fillmore as well. They got Bubba, fucking bucket. Like no matter what happens, you are guaranteed to have good defense and shooting on that floor, and they're all unselfish. They're all making
Yeah.
that extra pass. They were feeding Luke at the end to ensure that he was hitting shots when they were up already. That game was over.
They were on a
forcing
side
it.
quest.
Yeah, the additions to that team, I don't think that we're going to notice it for a little while how dominant they are. I think that we'll see a lot more of this. But I will say, I still like the Vipers. I'm not going to drop them as one of my favorites for the season. I still think that they are a finals team. I still think that they can make it there. They didn't have Zildo. They didn't have Jose. They didn't have Greg or one of them. And I think that kind of hurt. But OTB, I'm on the bench with them.
Nas bomb of the day. Vipers did get better as we completely continued to suggest to them from last week. They have decided to give Greg and Remy a permanent roster spot, and Cariel Perez, who I believe, and this is information that I have to gather 100% before I can say that I'm correct, but I believe he is the one that put the Vipers together, Cariel, and he will be giving up his spot for Greg St. Remy to have a permanent roster spot on the Vipers. So that is a good addition for them.
Just added me on Facebook.
Yeah, that was a good addition for him, for them. I'm sorry, and I think that could definitely do wonders for them. He's a great defender. He is a good playmaker. He can guard multiple positions. He can shoot. He could do a lot of little things that are going to make them better. And they already have a good roster as it is. They already look good as it is. To improve on upgrading from Cariel to Greg St. Remy, obviously, I think is big for them. So. Nas bomb of the day. We'll see how that goes for them going forward.
One thing I'm interested in is I want to see the matchup again. I want to see if Liam was having an off night because I did remember they were kind of chirping. There were some things on the bench, some things with the ref. I want to see if in their next matchup, if he can kind of perform better with defending Keith or dealing with that. Because this is a one-off. Maybe the next time they match up, maybe Liam does have a better game. And this game is completely different when they're fully rostered. I'm not going to bet on the Vipers against OTB for a little while, though. Because I've been wrong, I've been burned, and I can't be burned again.
I don't think it's a one-off. I think the only thing that can stop Keith is Keith. He's going to show up. He's going to have a day where he shows up lazy, not in the mood, or having a bad day, or out of shape, or whatever the case is, didn't stretch, or came late to the game. The only thing that's going to stop Keith in this league is Keith.
A whole plethora of reasons. This man has a whole journal of
but
all the reasons that Keith has given us.
But what I'm saying, those are all things that are within his control. So that's what I'm saying. The only thing that can stop Keith is Keith from not showing up ready to go. And I don't think it. I'm trying to think quickly off the top of my head. I don't think there's a center in the GM5 better than Keith. I might be forgetting someone.
I don't think so anymore. Yeah, I do not think so. I love a lot of the players, and Keith is a center I've not seen in Central Florida in a little while. Like
Yeah.
he's very, very good. That is a very talented player.
We need to make our way to
And
the
it
Ace
was
League,
crazy.
bro. Talent in the Ace League is crazy. I'm telling you.
I need to.
Yeah,
I'm out of touch.
The Ace League has the
I
best
was gonna
talent out of
double
all the
down.
leagues in Central Florida. They have the best talent in our area right now.
Wow. Wow.
It's
I
a
was
it's a
gonna
pro
double
am.
down on everything. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this man just every
Yeah.
time Pluto goes to talk, he's got a new thing. The Ace League. We heard Orlando.
Free advertisement right by now.
April.
But regardless, Keith is. I've never seen a player assert their dominance so fast. Like most of the players we are think are dominant players. We kind of we see them 2 or 3. We didn't even see Body Bag really assert his dominance in this league. One, the game ended quickly, but two, we never got to see him like him. To see Keith like just little boy, another 6'7" grown man, get him to crash out on the sidelines, get him to kind of get he's pretty much out of his game. Um and Liam's known to be the guy to get other people out of their game. And for that to be like a reverse Uno on him, if Liam's crashing out, these other centers that are like 6'4", 6'5", oh man, there's gonna be a lot of crash outs with Keith.
Wait.
It's kind
Could
of
you imagine when
Shaq
Kel has to guard Keith? Because Kel has to play center for that for Dream Chasers. They have no other center, and he's got to guard Keith.
crashing out. Bro. I'm telling you, this is very Shaq-esque when Shaq had centers throwing basketballs at him, mad as hell. These teams might go get other 6'9" dudes, 6'7" dudes. They're gonna need to do something because
They need to.
that is a force. That is gonna be a force, bro. And I know we're kind of stuck on him, but if he wanted to, really, like Nas says, if he locked in, he can low key be the MVP of this league at center position. I think.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
But so can Romillo as well.
That as well.
So can Luke.
Yeah. So can Terrell, actually.
Is crazy.
Terrell is the only one that's
Rod.
Terrell is the only one that's like the least likely, and that's still not that's still not enough. You know, but speaking of Markel Williams, you know, they told us in advance that the game of the week was Vipers versus OTB. I would like to put in a grievance because I was lied to, and I don't appreciate being lied to. The real game of the week was Dream Chasers versus Park Legends, and nobody fucking told us that. All right, Park Legends I believe that game went to overtime. Am I wrong? Or did they?
Nope.
They closed it out in the fourth.
No, they closed it out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the layup. Yeah. Okay, so Park Legends was able to take that game 65-63. Man, I want to save the best for last. So let's start with the Park Legends. Let's talk about what the Park Legends were able to put together, man. Because there's a man on the other side of this that deserves some shine. I want to save the best for last. Let's talk about the Park Legends, man. What are some good? What are some bad that we saw? I want to start this one off because my dog Christian Sorry is over there, and I like to tell everybody, go watch Week 1 footage. Go listen to the broadcast. I said it, and I did, and I'm not going to take it back. Christian Sorry is going to be the sixth man of the year. The only thing that's going to stop it is the fact that now Tommy is coming off the bench, and I do believe that's a game changer. That can definitely compete with my take without a shadow of a doubt. But we will see. We will see how that goes. Tommy had a phenomenal game, but the game itself was very, very far from phenomenal. You know what I mean? So we will get to that here shortly. Christian, however, in a nail biter. Huh?
You can only play your competition. You can't play anybody else.
Yeah, you're right.
Can't blame him.
But listen, Christian in a nail biter in a close game, and where shots mattered the most, where there was pressure on him, where things were on the line, Christian showed up and was the leading scorer of his team. And we're talking about a team that consists of Nick Wallery and Dom Douglas. Yeah, you heard it here first. Christian Sorry was the leading scorer of that team, you know, and by a landslide, by this league standards at least. It was just 4-point difference from Nick, but he was hitting those. But he was hitting the shots that matter. And listen, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it glazing. You can call it I'm playing favorites, or you call it I'm always talking about the Volusia people. Whatever you want to call it, I don't give a fuck. Go look at the stat sheet. Go look at game 1. Go look at game 2. What did I say? Christian Sorry is going to be one of the best shooters this league has. And what has he become? One of the best shooters this league has. You cannot leave him open. He's going to pull up in transition. He's going to pull up off the dribble. He's going to pull up off the screen. It doesn't matter where the three's coming from. Christian is going to be a threat. I would love to see what team is going to be the first team to slow him down, because that team's going to get a lot of credit from me, and that's my positive for Park Legends. They did a phenomenal job of closing out and coming out with that win. I was a little disappointed with Dream Chasers' defensive effort those last couple possessions. Allowing that wide open layup should never happen in that type of situation, even if it was a bit of a cherry
Let's come
pick.
back to the negatives in a second. I thought we were talking about the positives. What happened?
Right.
It sounds like you go into negatives.
Remember?
Well,
Hey,
nobody stopped Pluto when he was doing that. That's crazy work. Yeah, fine. Go.
You stopped
Go.
Pluto. You
I
stopped.
didn't. He stopped himself. I did not. I did not. Go back and watch it. I let him finish the whole thing. I let him finish the whole
Review
thing.
the tape.
That's crazy.
No,
Go
wait.
ahead. Who's next?
Would you say that Christian Laurie, he's not like a bitch ass shooter like Christian Laurie?
What?
Chris Laurie, he's like a
What'd you say?
he's like a from the logo type of shooter.
Wait, what did you just say?
Hey, you know what I said. I don't know what I said.
Wait.
I'm gonna go back to what we were talking about because I said Chris Laurie and I just recognized what. So let's come back.
I'm lost. Yeah, let's go. Who's next?
I really like how Park Legends went back to Nick in the post because they were able to create a lot of offense off of that. They were passing out to Christian. They were passing out to Dom. We saw Dom hit a few spot up shots. We don't really see that too often. I like that change as well.
He sure loved it. That's for damn sure. He made it known. He came to the table, let us know it's about damn time they gave me the ball.
Oh yeah, Nick. Yeah, that's who you need, bro. You don't have Nick to play like this screener position where he's not getting post touches. You got Nick because he's a mismatch inside. He's one of the biggest centers that you're going to see. And how many centers in this league? How many centers in this league know how to defend in the post? I don't think many. How many people have had a drop step on them ever? Not many people, bro. So you really have to use that. And I think that they did. I will say though, I don't think that this is the game where you won necessarily because of that. I think that there's some exterior circumstances that we'll talk about in a moment from Dream Chasers. Dream Chasers look great for a lot of that though. I'll come back.
I agree.
I mean, Christian Sorry for that team has been phenomenal, but mostly he's looked great because Dom hasn't really been there. Like he's been there, but he hasn't. He hit some clutch buckets towards the end, some big time baskets. That's what Dom does, right?
That's an excuse.
But, and the whole, huh?
That's an excuse.
Dom's shooting.
Show up.
Dom is taking shots.
That's what you're supposed to do. Show up.
He did. He did show up at the end, but at the end of the day, I just feel like this offense that Dom is now is not a Dom heavy offense where everything kind of relies off him and he's finding the third or fourth option after that, or Sean is helping find him. I think this is going to be a big adjustment for him this year. I think it's bigger than people are really actually talking about. This man was averaging 35, close to 34 points a game. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, I'm not the stats guy. I'm not good with it. But he was averaging a 30 ball. Close to a 30 ball.
That 30 rounded up is crazy.
Yeah. I think he had a couple 35-point games, though. That I can say. It's not the same offense, but I think he's kind of going and giving it into the program. And the program, everybody gets touches, everybody gets opportunities, and it's showing because there are players on this team who are taking advantage of those opportunities. Nas guys is. I think Nick having his opportunity given again is great. I still really don't like Sean off the bench. I really don't like it, but I think it's going to have to be something I get used to because Nick's not coming off the bench, and neither is Bird. And I do think they both are bigger than Sean. I just think Sean adds a different element to this team that Nick can't. I think it puts Bird more at a passing, more of a scoring option than being an extra passer to like a cutter or something like that. Because Sean would pick that up and maybe even see Bird more in offensive selections. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're getting it done with Nick and Bird. But again, my only takeaway is I don't like Sean on the bench. I don't like it. Maybe they could even go 3 big man lineup. But you know, that's probably not going to happen in this league.
I don't know what's stopping them from staggering the minutes to where you have Dom and you have Sean on the court most of the time when they're playing together, and Christian and Nick on the court. I think that fits because Christian fits exactly what Nick is. He's going to be in the post. He's getting the post touches. He's going to pass out eventually. Christian's perfect for that.
Yeah.
And Christian can still play in transition whenever Sean's in. But I think if TP, if you stagger those minutes, of Dom and Sean playing together and Nick and Christian playing together, that's going to be like the recipe for success.
And I like that, Tyler, because now you have two different tempos that you can play at. You have a tempo where you can play the fast pace, or you can slow it down and bring it to Nick, and you can close games out like that. Or
Yep.
if you need to score, you can speed it up. And I think, I mean, again, TP, this is no shade. I think your rotations, like Tyler says, do need to be a little bit better in synergy for the offense. I think TP is, and this is my hot take, I guess. I think TP is really worried about defense, and that's what comes ahead to me. Like defense is a big part of Park Legends. I can tell. TP hangs his hat on that, but I think knowing what players that fit together and what don't is
But
extremely important. Like Tyler said,
what
it's super
players
important.
what players are getting minutes that are impacting the defensive end?
Alton, I think Alton's a great defender.
Yeah,
Is
I
he
don't
getting
you got
think Ish
Alton off
is,
the
is he getting minutes though?
yeah, I'd say he's probably getting 15 to 20.
Enough minutes to impact the game? I don't think he's getting 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, no.
I don't
Yeah, I
he's
think
getting,
No,
Alton's
but
getting 15 to
15
20.
is
But I don't think
closer
he's-
to the range, but I go 15 and lower. I wouldn't go 15 and higher.
That's fair.
even their point guard's a pretty decent defender too. Ish is
And
a pretty
that's
decent defender.
that's one.
Yeah.
You see where I'm getting at?
Bird's
I
a
think
pretty
Jay,
good-
I think it's
think
really
Bird's a
just
pretty
Dom and Jay who are
decent
great
defender.
defenders. Sean
Yeah,
is not
Bird's
a bad
a-
defender either, I don't think.
But what I'm
I-
saying,
I-
though, but what
not
I'm
a
saying
bad
is,
defender either.
what I'm saying is to the take of you're saying he's prioritizing defense when I have to be completely honest, regardless of how highly I speak of certain players, there are the people who are on the court the majority of the time favor offense over defense. That's what I'm saying. Nick Wallery plays a lot, and we've already expressed how we feel about that. But Nick isn't the best defensive impacting player, right? Christian, who has been shined for them, I have to be willing to accept that there is some defensive lack on his end when it comes to that, right? So that's my point. Is he actually favoring defense over offense? Because I don't feel like his rotation shows that.
I don't think so. I think he's favoring
He has the players.
elite
the rotation.
volume scorers, and I don't think that there's enough basketballs in the court to facilitate that many volume scorers. I think that's his issue. And I think if you facilitate, or if you change around the rosters or the lineups, I think that you have a better opportunity. But I don't think Park Legends has been a good defensive necessarily.
I don't think they're bad. I think Bird's a pretty decent defender. I mean, and Nick on the block is a top 5 defender inside. I mean, what I've seen, I think he can play that block position very well. He does get a decent amount of defensive rebounds, and that is a part of defense. But yeah, I think you're right when it comes to the archetype and the players that they have. Really, Alton would be really the only defender when you're looking at it, and that's the only thing I can really take away from that. So I guess you can't favor no offense.
Supposedly ish,
Yeah.
which I don't know what clips we can use to prove that. I don't know.
He plays really well defense on the point guard position.
You're gonna have to show me some clips.
I will say though, Jalen before he went out was not shooting that well. But I was not paying attention to Ish's defense.
Ish is a decent defender. He's a pretty decent defender. Like maybe you should look at it. I peeped it. Like even the first game, he had pretty good defense against the point guard.
Hey Pluto, listen, I just did it for Trap. Prove us wrong. Listen,
Yeah.
bring out this study.
Yeah, I mean, Jack's only. How many points did Jax have his first game? I think wasn't it Park Legends was it the first game? How many points did he have?
Djax had like
9?
15 the first game. Djax was going crazy. If we're
Nah,
talking,
I think it was it.
I don't
15?
think Ish would be a good. I don't think Ish would be a good defender on Djax. Djax is big as fuck. Like
Yeah, I mean, any
that's
point
like-
guard in that league is going to get muscled out by Djax, unless you're like Jalen.
Yeah. He's just gonna push you out the spot.
Yeah, but that's not a good person to use.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, dude, that's my take though. I think we all can agree TP has to work on his rotation skills. Love you, TP.
Yeah, but City Ballers though, City Ballers, they looked great. I think that they listened to a lot of things we talked about podcasts, or maybe over time they built that because they were moving like they were on a string, offensively and defensively. Yeah, they were hitting shots, they were making the extra passes, And I say this specifically in the first 3 quarters, unfortunately. Everything I'm saying. I do have to preface that. Obviously, we saw Jalen go out, and you're going to look at the box score, and you're going to think Jalen did not have that much impact in the game. But, like, defensively, he was everywhere. He got to block on Jay Bird. He gets a rebound over Jay Bird. I think he got a rebound over Nick, and he may have got a block as well. He was securing rebounds. He was securing loose balls. He was in the passing lanes. He was defending everything. Like, he was a great defender on Dom as well for kind of switch back and forth between them. And he played that roaming role very well. Like, that team is very strong when they're fully running. Kel is a madman defensively, bro. And you think, like, defensively is where he's only impacting the ball. He's a mid-range menace. He is hitting shots from the fucking elbow every single time down the court. Nobody's defending him. They listen very well. They pass the ball very well. And then in the fourth quarter, after Jalen goes out, it stopped and everybody reverted back to, like, and I think that's where you guys kind of fell. I fuck with Milt. I love Milt. Like, we especially last season, Milt, bro, you got to pass the ball more, especially in, like, those late game situations. There was 3 back-to-back possessions where you dove right to the rim, and, like, Nick was there. You're not gonna go around Nick. Like, Nick's a big body, bro. He's gonna block your shit. Yeah, and, like, exactly what happened. You didn't go around Nick, and they got possession. And 2 of those times they scored. So, like, 2 bad possessions led directly to Park Legends scoring. When, like, the entire game you guys were playing so well, just like the City Ballers that crumbled, and it was really unfortunate to see.
Yeah, that's one thing about this level of basketball that I see very frequently. It's like teams can't figure out consistency. They just can't figure out, like, this is what has worked for us from the moment this game started up to this point. Why would we steer away from it? Why are we trying to look for a different player to find opportunities when this player is the player who has been getting us these opportunities? And, obviously Jalen going down makes a big difference. So that's a factor. But, defensively, he would have been there. Offensively, he had a bit of a rough game. He wasn't really getting his shot off too often. But I hate to see that. I hate to see that Kel was doing so much for them throughout the game, and it just seemed like the wrong people were taking shots at the wrong time. And even their, I guess you could call him one of their big men. I did forget his name. I do apologize. I'm still getting used to some of the names. But he took a three at some point at the end of the fourth quarter. It wasn't like the last minute or anything, but it was close to that range. And, like, every possession matters at this point in the game. Like, this is a shot you don't need to take. It's like they gotta think through that stuff a little better. I feel like some players just they can't avoid hero ball, and I hate that sometimes. It's like they just can't avoid it. They just, oh my God, there's 1 minute left. We're down by 1. I want to take the shot. You know what I mean? Like, no, bro. Like, let's get something going here. Like, I know y'all don't got this phenomenal coaching, and the chances that you're gonna be able to draw up a player are slim, but you can play some basic basketball. You know what I mean? You can set some basic screens and have some basic cuts to the basket to get yourself open, to get yourself the right look, and put the ball in the hands of the right person. And like you said, I just felt like they weren't doing that towards the end. They weren't, and that sucked.
But if you're gonna play hero ball, you have a hero in that game, and the last couple of games in Kel. At least feed it to him at that point, I would say.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that on that team, I mean, Kel's is their best offensive weapon when it comes to, like, consistency, not like what he could do, consistent effort. On top of that, he's arguably up there as maybe top 2 or first best defenders on their team as well. And when I'm looking at all this, they have pieces to make it work. I just don't think, like you guys were saying, there's not enough consistency. And at the end of the day, when you have players that are uber athletic, you have a bunch of athletes on this team, Bouncy, Jalen, Kels. You have all these guys. You guys should be the best defensive team in this league. And I'm sorry that I'm old school with that. That's a Greg Popovich take right there. Having some of the most athletic people on the court, that should mean you should be some of the best defensive teams on the court. You should be able to have more effort. You should be able to have more drive. And it was showing. It showed because Jalen was leading by example on that end. When Jalen got hurt, It was in rebound. It was defensive rebound over a bigger guy.
And he
Jalen was
got it.
putting in that effort.
I went back to
Jalen,
watch CP. He got it. He didn't get the rebound. Just gonna say.
yeah, TP. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Regardless, you got to rebound over. He was leading by example, and I think when you see someone putting in an effort, whether it be at your job, whether it be even at a basketball pickup game, effort is contagious. And I mean, I'm sorry to say it like this. When Jalen got here, when Jalen got hurt, the effort found its cure, and they were no longer able to do what they were doing. There was no replication. There was no one willing to die. There was no one willing to sacrifice their body. And a lot of the time throughout that game, we could talk about Kels being on the floor. We could talk about Jalen being on the floor, Bouncy, being on the ground, being a hustler. Like there's certain things we saw that looked very well, and like I said, they just need to kind of harp on what they're good at and be a defensive team, be a transition team, be a fast break team. The highlight of the week was the Jalen alley-oop to Kels. There's no argument there at all, I don't think, from anybody. And want to know why? A defensive, a defensive, a defensive winning battle into a transition bucket using your speed and your length and your athleticism. That's as old school as you can get. If you have those tools, you can beat any team. You can beat any team on any given night
I
or
think
day
the
or
Dream
morning.
Chasers definitely showed that they can compete for sure. It's unfortunate they've started rough. Things aren't looking great, but I mean, just like the Lions, there's just some changes that need to be made to improve certain aspects of their roster and in their rotation and all that kind of stuff. We talked about it a bit in the broadcast of how we could probably find a better choice or a better option at the center position for them, because I do believe Kel would see his best impact as a forward for them as opposed to as a center. And even if you look at their big man as their center per se, it's just not what you're looking for out of a center. That's just me being completely honest. And listen, you guys take it however you want to take it. But no matter what you guys draw it up as, Kel is essentially doing your center work. You can say the other guy's your center, because I believe that's how they view it. Their other big man is their center, but it's just not looking like that. You know what I mean?
But Kel's guarding the other center. Like he's actually guarding the other center every time.
They were switching back and forth. Like Kel was guarding the faster person as opposed to him guarding the slower person. Who did I had an example ready.
Thompson. His last name's Thompson. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Thompson. I had an example ready, but I can't remember who it was that was on the court. But I remember Kel going to guard the faster person while he was guarding the slower person.
Okay.
But either way, I just don't think it's going to work. And it's the same advice that I give the Lions. You have to be able to say, okay, as it stands right now, it's not working how we want it to. We can compete if we make a change somewhere. So I think they should explore that. And I mean, that's up to them. Listen, Kel has a relationship with Rick Bellevue, who's a phenomenal big man. Hit him up. Maybe he wants to be in the GM5. You put that in the equation, you got yourself another athletic player, a great post presence, and he's going to allow Kel to play that forward position. You already added Turon, who could be a good fit. So, listen, opportunity to explore there. My other choice was Big
hit
Man.
Up Pink. Really quick, hit up Pink. Pink has a fucking factory of big men just sitting around somewhere where he has a new big man every center. He's great. Just hit him.
Bro,
he's got it.
All his big men have been over 6'7". I don't think he's had a big man smaller. I think Body Bag was his smallest big man. He was 6'6".
No, Body Bag.
He's a big man.
Big man. Some Body Bag's like 6'7", 6'8". But
damn.
He's not really a big man either. But by these standards, yeah. But yeah, it's the Ace League, bro. I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, man, phenomenal game by Kel. Phenomenal performance. Phenomenal. Golly, what was that? Phenomenal overall game. I was shocked. I really did not expect that to be so exciting. And man, it hurt my soul to watch Dream Chasers lose. I really did want them to win, not because I wanted Park Legends to lose. It would have been better for the narrative. You know what I mean? It would have been better for the story.
So everything felt right about that game. Like everything. Yeah. They did everything so. I hate to say it. This is corny, but like I really think that you can kind of tie it back to them losing of Jalen. Like the effort just went out the window. You have Kel, who is the one consistently putting in effort, along with Bounty, some others, but like Kel's their guy, and like you can't just rely on one guy to put in like ultimate effort all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Real
all.
quick, I want to shout out Kels one more time. If any professional team is looking for a high motor wing player, there's a guy every Saturday who plays basketball who I think, and I mean, and I love Kels as a player. I think he could play professional ball somewhere. I know he has, but honestly, like he could really be
Yeah.
somewhere playing professional ball. He could guard the 4 to the freaking 1. We've seen it. He could hit the midi consistently. He could shoot it off the dribble. He could, man. It's like
He
this
can
guy
handle the
needs to be.
ball.
Yeah, like this guy should not be in the G. Again, we love that he's here, but he shouldn't be here right now. And that's I think it's immense talent that's being overlooked. I wanted to shout that out real quick. You don't see a lot of guys his height move the way he does.
I'm gonna be honest. He's been my favorite player to watch in the GM5 this season.
He's
Listen.
fun.
If you guys give out jerseys, I would love it, bro. It's really fun, and if anyone hasn't had the chance, watch it because he's impacting the ball like offensively and defensively, and I really like that. That's
His
my favorite
motor's
part.
crazy. He's such a high motor. Like for real,
Yeah.
for real. I agree with that.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal player. And last thing I'll say is I'll go back to one of my takes that I had. I don't know if it was on the broadcast or if it was one of our pod episodes, but I had a take when we were trying to, say that Jermaine, Big Main, would be a good choice for them. We found out that's not going to happen. But the reason I
Ever.
had said that is because I felt like it could have been a very Brook Lopez slash Giannis type of combination to whereas you have that stretch big that can shoot from the range from outside, who can post up and create a lot of offense on the inside as well whenever you need him to. That veteran presence, as well as Kel, who can fit more as a forward, who's just going to impact both ends of the floor just off of pure intensity. You know what I mean? Just a pure motor, just driving him to just want it more than the next guy. And that's why I was saying it's that similarity to Giannis and Brook, whereas Brook is no longer who he was in his heyday, but his impact is felt every possession. You know what I mean? Like he does something big for them every possession, and it leads to a championship, right? So the first year he was there, so that's why I always thought that would be a good fit. So that's the last thing I'll say about that game. Last game of the week. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know if I have much to say. It was the Lions versus NWO. NWO showed exactly why they're predicted to be the championship favorites, or at least compete to go to the finals. I don't know if we could say championship favorites just yet. OTB hasn't had the chance to showcase fully what they're capable of, and even then, they've had a significant win on week 1 and a mercy rule in week 3. So I don't know if they're favorites just yet, but they're phenomenal, and they won this game by an amount that I can't even do math immediately. I have to actually stop and do these numbers in my head.
74.
74. That's how large the number is. Listen, can somebody in the chat tell me how much is 122 minus 48? Ladies and gentlemen, it's 74.
Where'd you get that joke from? You so late.
Copy is infringement
Shout out,
right now.
shout out
Copy
Nick
is
Troy though.
infringement.
Shout out Nick Troy for that joke.
Shout out
That
Nick
dude's funny
Troy.
as funny. He's funny as hell.
Yeah, shout out Nick Troy. But that was one hell of a beat down. Only thing I want to say, and then I'll leave it because I don't really, I didn't have fun. Plain and simple. I'm gonna be that guy. I have to be because I like to give my opinion. I like to be honest. I don't like to sugarcoat. I don't like to say anything that I don't mean. I didn't have fun. I didn't have fun watching that. I was not happy with the Lions' performance, and you can blame a lot of things, but it was effort. It was effort. The passes weren't thought out. The shot attempts weren't considered. It was just everything was just not going our way, so we're just gonna fuck it. And that's how it felt like. It's like every pass, they're not paying attention. Every shot they attempt, they're not looking to see if somebody's open, to see if somebody's coming to defend it, to block it, to close out. It's like just minimal effort from beginning to end, and
Bro,
I wasn't
hate
happy.
watching
I wasn't happy.
because Pringle's the only one putting in effort consistently. It's like that's not fun to watch. Like
It's not.
you have one guy playing defense.
Keaton also put in work, you know what I mean? But it's like
Yeah.
it has to be a team effort. It has to be a team effort. And listen, before you guys go, I'll give my last Nas bomb of the day. They are making a big change. They are choosing to drop Daniel Tavares, and which is one of their go-to guys from any league that I've ever seen him on. He's always there. He's always on the roster. So I am surprised that they were going this route because I didn't think they had it in them. to drop one of their go-to guys, and they're going to be picking up Steve Stacko. For those of you who are unfamiliar, he played for the Polk County Royals. He's about 6'5", 6'6" ish, around that range. Very athletic, phenomenal on the boards, great defender, phenomenal hustle player. And I'm already going to tell you straight up, he is the best player on that team officially. He 100% is. With the addition of their other player who just made his first appearance, Stephen George, who looked decent out there. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. They're also going to be talking to Dante as well, Dante Hardnett from last year. I don't know if they're going to close that deal up, but that's a good addition for them. He's a shooter. He's a scoring player that could definitely add some sort of offensive punch to the table. So Steve Stacko is not going to make an immediate difference. We have to understand that there is a lot to be worked on the Lions' end for this to make sense. But he is a good step in the right direction. Lions, if you watch this, I hope this is not where you're going to stop. Because if it is, you're doing Steve Stacko a disservice. You need more. You definitely need more. But you upgraded
I think
tremendously.
2 more pieces.
Yeah, you upgraded tremendously. Steve Stacko can be a go-to guy for y'all. This Stephen guy, we'll see what his impact is going forward. You know, you guys know him more than I do. We'll see what happens with him. If he is an impact player, we could say one more piece can make a difference here. You know, but it depends on the impact he brings. We'll see, right? But Lions, if you watch this, the last thing I'll say is, repeating it, this cannot be the last move. You need more. Just being honest.
Yeah. Stefan in the limited minutes that we saw him, Stefan did look good. I could say that. And I think you have a starting lineup of like Keaton, Sean, as you mentioned, Stefan, and Pringle, and you figure out who that other person is. I like that roster. Josias, he's a great shooter for you. Things are a little bit better. I have a question. I don't know if you guys remember.
Steve, not Sean. I just realized you said Sean.
I probably did say Sean. I'm thinking of Sean Sukup. Their names is very similar to me in my head. I don't know why. I'm losing it.
All right.
Did Tommy play at all the first 2 quarters of that game?
Yeah, he did.
I'm pretty sure he scored 35. Okay, never mind.
He did because he was complaining on the bench that he came in the game, hit 2 threes, and was taken out. And he spent the entire rest of his first half talking trash to Berger. And I heard it very clearly.
The entire time, bro. He would come up to us to talk trash.
Yeah.
So we would hear on the mic, just to be sure.
He said, "Coach, you want me to
hilarious,
bro. He said, "Coach, you want me to get the team some Gatorades?" I was like, "Yeah, man, leave that man alone."
Bro, I mean, it wasn't just Tommy though. Like a lot of their major players barely played. Like AJ, like maybe had some fun on Saturday. Rod literally just loves to hoop, so that's why he played so much. Like a lot of these players, like their main core guys were not really. I mean, they didn't even start AJ. Like they didn't start AJ. Yeah. I think Rod he's never not gonna want to hoop. Like, he just
Rod's like Katie Light, bro.
Yeah. Like Rod
doesn't matter what kind of basketball.
Yeah. So I understand Rod, but like other than that, you Tommy on the bench, you have these nuclear weapons just chilling on the bench while you're running it up with your bench players. I will say this: I like the college atmosphere in the GM5 this week, like a college football game. Berger was like, you know what, run it up. At one point, Berger left the game to use the bathroom in the middle of the game, like not at halftime, not in between quarters. In the beginning of the beginning of halftime, he goes and uses the bathroom, comes back, and was like, "What's going on?" Like, and I know where this is coming from. This is from his experience last year. It was a bad taste for him last year, and he said that to me a couple times. And me and him actually chat a lot when it comes to like players, what's my stance. We actually have an alignment when we agree on certain things, and I mean, now seeing it, I think NWO is way too stacked. They're the best team in this league. The only thing that can stop NWO. Well, listen, this is my hot thing, and then I'm gonna get to the Lions and my take on them.
A week ago, they had
NWO. The only thing that can stop NWO is Keith. That's the only thing that can stop NWO. It's Keith. So that's one game I cannot wait to watch. OTB versus NWO.
I'm not gonna lie though.
But
I'm not gonna lie though, I do trust NWO's ability to play defense in that situation, and because it won't, I don't think they're gonna be like other teams.
Won't just be one person.
Exactly, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
they're
don't. I
gonna.
don't. Yeah, I don't. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be a collective for
they're not
sure.
gonna be like other teams
Um,
and try to guard him straight up. I think they're gonna be much smarter than that and put up actual bodies in front of him, which can be a good
they
thing.
have.
It could be a bad thing because let's not forget they have the lights of Luke Doyle in the perimeter. So, removing a defender from out there is going to be very difficult to do because he's a scary man to leave open.
The one. Yeah. Go ahead.
But
Go
I
ahead.
think they can do it though. I think they can do it 100%. I, I don't. I just don't think he's. I don't even know how to say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Let's wait till that game happens. I'm not even gonna say nothing.
For sure. I just
Not
think it's
to
gonna be
not to
exciting.
get clipped
I
up.
have- I have a take.
Not to not want to get
Yeah,
clipped up.
I have a take, but I don't want to be stuck to it, so I'm just moving on. I'm just moving on.
We don't want to come back to this 2 weeks later and
Yeah.
we're getting cooked now. We don't want
Yeah,
that.
let's just move on. Finish your
Yeah.
There's
take.
some
The only
credibility
thing
for
I'm gonna
once.
say on
For
what Nas
once.
says is I think NWA has enough bodies to throw at him. Uh, the only I'm
Ice
gonna
Cube?
say is, huh?
Ice Cube?
Oh my
No.
god.
NWA?
Oh, I said,
Oh
oh
my god.
man. NWO.
I couldn't
think
let that go.
NWO
My god.
has enough big men on their team to throw, especially the pickup of Josh in the trade for Berto. That's another 6'5" dude. They have enough big men. You have AJ, and then believe it or not, this is a sneaky thing here, but I think you have Tommy as a weak side defender. I think a lot of those passes that Keith was making aren't going to be available with someone like Tommy who can read stuff like that and make certain big pivotal turnovers in the game. But regardless, I don't want to get into a whole soliloquy
I
on
was about to
that.
get pissed off. I thought you were about to say that Tommy was going to defend Keith. I was going to
No,
disconnect.
fuck
What the
no. But I
fuck?
think he can deflect a lot of passes and make it harder for him to make passes outside the post. I do believe that. But regardless of the fact, I want to get into the Lions. Um, man,
I thought you
uh,
didn't. Before the podcast started, you said you did not.
Yeah, wait.
I didn't want
Shout out
to,
Bill Paul.
but I got to.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. You feel me? Just like my homework back in the day. Um, regardless of the fact, you like that one, night, Nas? That was good. That was good. Anyways,
I did not.
regardless of the fact, at the end of the day, the Lions don't have the pieces that are adequate enough to change the trajectory of their season with adding whoever they add. I don't care if the Pope said I'm gonna hoop with them this season. I just don't. I don't think there's enough roster movements that you can allow to do in the GM5 to change the fact that you will not be even if you're a sixth, seventh, eighth seed. I just don't see that changing with the level of competition this year. And this is their first year. I don't think people should be bullying them like they are on the internet. Like they are getting absolutely dismantled. You gotta understand this
You
organization
haven't
did
even
not know
seen
what
it
they were.
all. You have to get on that
I
Facebook
haven't, and I
group.
don't want to.
You have to get on that
I don't
Facebook
want
group.
to.
That's where the real shit talking happens. I've been telling y'all since day one. That's the real shit talking right there.
And I don't want to get into it because I get my feelings hurt. Y'all know what's going on with them, and I've got my Doc Rivers shit going on right now. But
He's talking shit about them in their shirt. I can't believe this. He's giving up on them
I'm
in
not.
their shirt publicly.
I love them, bro.
Like they gave him a
But
shirt, and he's like, "I'm gonna give up on y'all."
I'm not giving up on them like forever. I'm just giving up on them until next season, and that's all. And I mean, I know there's respect. I think there's a lot of kinks and things that need to happen. I think there's a lot of structural things that need to happen. I think at the end of the day, their foundation needs to get tweaked up a little bit. And that's all. That's what I see. I don't think it's bad. I think the owners are amazing people. I think they have a good trajectory in learning what to do. They run a league themselves. They have talent. I think I've mentioned that more than several times. There's so much talent in this team. An idea that floated in my head is this Ox league that you have going on. Grab those all stars and make them your GM5 team. Like they have enough players in that league to make a team to compete in the GM5. Even in the season I'm in right now, I firmly believe I can grab 10 to 11 guys and create a pretty decent roster.
This
Um,
season
and I'm
for
not
the Oxford is better than last season, bro.
10
These
to
are
11
For
is
sure.
fucking
crazy.
dogs right now.
For
yeah,
sure.
you could.
And I
Tyler
do.
and Sean.
No, I'm saying
Grab a
like
couple
half of
guys
the
no, no,
off the
loaded
no,
squad.
Vipers right now.
no, no, no. I'm
I can
saying
grab a couple guys off the Vipers.
no, no. I'm
I can
saying
grab your
10 to
big
11
man.
is a lot of players. Like you don't want that many at GM5. People are gonna be
Oh, I
people
get
are
what
gonna
you're saying.
hate
All
you.
right. Well,
They're gonna hate you.
whatever the GM5, like let's say 6 to 7, I can grab 6 to 7 really great guys. I can grab 2 guys off the Vipers. Your point guard, the big point guard, your big man. I can go grab Tyler off my team and our big man.
I
I
have a
can
big
go
point
grab a
guard.
couple people. Huh?
I don't have a big point guard. Barely have a point guard.
Uh, the tall kid, number 0. He's damn near a point guard. He plays like a guard.
You think he's a point
The
guard?
long hair.
It's an
He
interesting
plays
take.
like a point guard. He's a
You
2.
talking
He's
about?
definitely a
You talking
2.
about the wing? You talking about the really athletic guy
Typically,
you're talking about?
typically point guards are considered the one, but I mean,
Man, I think he could play point guard for my team if I was coaching him. How about that? Anyways, I'm not gonna go into. He's definitely a point guard, and no matter what college or professional team he goes to, he's 6'4". He's a 2 at most. But I'm not doing this with you, Nas. I'm not doing this with you. Anyways, I do think there's a couple guys in that league that they can really grab together and make shift a better team. But again, these guys. Like Nas has pointed out the whole season. These are their guys. They're their go-to guys. I think Daniel being dropped. I think that has nothing to do with talent. I really don't. I think it has to do with fit, which is sucks because I think he's still a good player. I just don't think he was used to his capabilities. But at the end of the day, man, this is a different league with a different monster, and I think GM5 has a lot to do with getting better. And I think they're learning that every week. They're learning that, man, these guys are really good teams. These are really good players.
You saw what Bulb did to them, bro? They are gonna have nightmares about Bulb. I don't think Bulb missed a shot, and it says he had 7 steals, but I'm pretty sure they gave steals to other players because he had at least 25 when I counted. Every single possession down the court, he was stripping them, bro. They are gonna see him in their nightmares for a month.
I think
Terrible.
my Berto leak on Berto being a better guard than him and the other guy leaked because Bulb was not having it with me this week. He did not want to talk to me. He kept it real short with me. He didn't want to
Keep
debate
talking like
with me.
that, then. Say that to
But
him every week, because that was some fun ass basketball.
he was hooping. He was hooping his ass off, though. I
Was he?
give credit where credit's
A
due.
monster.
Yeah. Defensively, he was clamping.
I did not have fun at all. But I think the elephant in the room is simple. I don't think the Lions were prepared for the talent that they were going to face in the GM5, and I think they needed to do a better job of assembling a roster. That's the hot take of the day. Excuse
Sure.
me. But we have some more games, obviously, in Week 4. The Hooptalk crew is going to be back again for the rest of the season. Game 1 of Week 4 predictions here. We have Prey versus Vipers, which should be a very interesting game. Actually, I'd say a lot of these games are really good matchups. I think the assembly of matchups here is very well put together. That's how we start off, Prey versus Vipers.
Good game.
I think I have the Vipers. I think I got the Vipers.
Man.
You know right here what this means.
I got the
You
Vipers.
know who I got. I got
Okay.
Prey.
I'm
I think
gonna
it's
go
50-50.
Vipers.
Vipers?
I bet you that's gonna be game of the week. I guarantee you that's gonna be the closest, because any team takes that. But I'm gonna go Vipers.
It's possible, but I mean, a lot of these
I want a
matchups are
jersey.
interesting.
That's why.
A lot of these matchups
I
are
got something.
interesting.
I got something that it's gonna. I don't think it's close at all. I think I got Prey by 5 points. Prey by 5 points.
That's not close.
That's not okay. I mean, it's basketball, and you guys are saying it's 50-50. 5 points is a big margin if you guys bet it.
No, that's a close
I'd be like-
game. 5 points is a close game.
Oh, a close
two
game is
possessions.
2.5 or 3. No,
We're
I
not
bet
betting the
every game.
over though, or we're not doing parlays like that. I'm saying
Okay,
like
I think Prey is gonna
5
win
possessions.
by-
That's 2 possessions.
for a 50-50 game. That's a lot of possessions. But okay,
Yeah, if you
there
lost
go.
by 5, you were in the game the whole way. Like you had the
All right,
ability to win
they're
that
gonna
game.
lose by 7.5. At least that's 8 points, right? 7.5.
There we go,
I got Prey by 7.5.
I'm taking the under.
I got the Vipers winning, so I guess I have to take the under, I guess.
Yep.
I got the Vipers winning on that one. And then we got Count Up versus On the Bench. I got On the Bench winning this one.
I got OTB.
They struggle
Yeah.
with consistent roster participation though, so that's gonna obviously change my mind on game day. But assuming they come up, they show up, I got OTB.
Man. I love y'all boys. Y'all know I love y'all boys, but I got a profession. You know, I got a job to do. And the way OTB is looking, the way Melo looked on his week back, I gotta go
The
OTB,
accountant
bro.
is here, bro. The
I gotta
accountant
go
is moving
OTB.
fast.
Listen, the question is, who's guarding who, right? Because you have to put it into consideration here. Melo likes to guard whatever player is in his vicinity that he can impact the most. Jalen likes to guard whatever player is in his vicinity that he can impact the most. Both teams can perceive that differently. I don't even know if they're going to guard each other. You know what I mean? I think Jalen
I
might be
would
put
put
on.
Melo on Jalen. I would.
I think it's more possible Melo will go on Jalen, but I put Jalen on Luke. You know what I mean? I think I put him there, but we'll see how that goes. I think it's very interesting
What
to see
about
this
Beans?
matchup. Um, what?
Beans on Luke, I think would be better.
I like Jalen on Luke. I think Jalen's the better defender in general. And I mean Jalen is playing the two for them technically speaking, so it would also be easier because we we still have Lido. I don't know if you want to put Luke on Lido. You know what I mean? So like that's where it gets a little tough now. You know what I mean? So it's interesting
I
though.
like.
It's gonna be interesting. I think Count Up can beat them though. This is not me saying that I don't think OTB can lose
Yeah,
this game.
same.
I do think Count Up can beat them, but I favor OTB. Obviously, I think it'll be a
Yeah,
close game. Well, yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a close game.
I think. I think he'll be between like 5 to 6 points. I can get with behind you on Nas on that one, but I do think this is gonna be a big showing for the big man for count up. That's where I see the difference, and I know we keep harping on that, but I do like Jalen better on Willie. I like Beans on Luke, like Tyler said, and I like Lito on um Mello, but I could even. I don't think people notice it. I think I could put Beans on Mello and put Lito more at a position to deny the ball to Luke and just chase Luke around. I think Lito's fast
I
enough.
think it's a bad
I
idea.
think
Yeah.
yeah, I think Lito's fast enough. I think Lito can get behind those screens quicker than Jalen or Beans could ever because of his size. I think he can sneak behind them and get through them. So I do like Lito on Luke. I think Lito takes defensive matchups pretty seriously. So yeah, I like that better. It gives more Jalen
I
a
don't
room
like
to
this.
co-rebound.
I don't like the size advantage that Luke
Huh?
will get off of that.
I don't think Luke's going to go to the hole. So I'm not worried about that.
Shoot,
I
size
think
advantage
Lito can.
matters for shooting as well. It 100% matters.
Yeah, but I think you're underestimating Lito's defense though,
I'm not. I
by a
think he's a great
lot.
defender.
Yeah, so
I side with you on that Pluto. That's what I was.
denying the ball to him, being able to kind of stay with him a lot better than Jalen could, or that, and then you're putting Jalen in a position where he can still rebound, he can still guard a good player, and then you got Beans on Melo. I don't think Melo's a super offensive stud where you need to lock him up, but I do think you need to put someone on Willie because Willie could go nuclear. I think people like Lito could go guard Luke because Luke could go nuclear. I think those two guys are better on ball defenders than Beans is. And I think Beans can hold his own with Melo. And I think that matchup itself, where you got Melo chasing Beans around, because I know that's what's going to happen. I know Melo's guarding Beans. I don't think Melo's guarding Jalen. I think that's going to be done more by TC. I think that's going to be done more by Willie. I think Jalen has a hard time having great offense against bigger defenders. And I think TC is going to be the deciding factor in all this because he can guard Jalen. I think TC can guard anyone from the 4 to the 1.
You can guard fucking everything, bro. Every single position.
He's a terrorist.
I just found out that he was a center before, and I believe it.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, then we have Park Legends versus Lions Perception. I think based on my previous take from the previous segment, you could guess I have Park Legends winning this game.
Yeah, got Parky. Got Parky.
Yeah.
Parky Sharkies.
All right.
I still think Lions need a little bit more.
Yeah. We love you guys, though.
A little bit, a lot of bit. Who's judging? And then we got City Ballers versus New West Orlando, aka NWO, or as
Ooh.
Pluto likes to put it, NWA. I think this is
Trap
also
game.
another interesting game. I want this to be the game where they show their pieces, their new pieces at full potential. That's what I want out of this. So I'm going to use that as my building blocks for my take and say that this is going to be a close game that NWO takes home.
Man, I think it depends what happens in that fourth quarter. If Phil can contain or can keep himself composed when he's not getting the calls that he should be getting, like late in that fourth, I think City Ballers. So yeah, I have to go NWO actually. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to say there. Even
I'm
at their
gonna
best,
be
I
the
just
guy
don't
in
think.
the room to shake it up. I'm going City Ballers. I
I
think
want to go
City
City Ballers though.
Ballers. I'm going City Ballers. I think this is their week. I think they're getting out the funk. I think that they're gonna put it all together. I think the discussions I had with Phil, Kevin, everybody that I got to speak with, I have high hopes for them. I even think their new jerseys might add a little bit more swag to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got a battle of the jerseys this week coming up. So I'm definitely going with City Ballers this week. You guys don't make me look bad. You guys are gonna be my count up this week, okay? So let's go with City Ballers this week. I'm going with them.
I
Yeah,
want to, but
I think
I gotta see something.
every favorite this week can lose. I will say that.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if City Ballers wins. I wouldn't be surprised if Count Up wins. And I don't even know if we can guarantee there is a favorite between Vipers and Prey. But whoever you consider the favorite, I wouldn't be surprised if the underdog wins. So I don't think I'm gonna walk out of this week shocked, regardless of who ends up winning, unless, and this is gonna be the last jab, unless the Lions win, then I'll be shocked.
You're a
Other than
dickhead. You're a
that,
fucking dickhead.
God,
You're a terrorist.
Christ, they
But-
were down already, Nas.
listen, that's what the podcast is for. It's what we're here to do.
You're right.
All right? It's what we're here to do. But
For sure, for sure.
listen,
We talk about our teams highly when they perform well. That's what we
exactly.
always do.
Everybody can get it, bro. There's take for everybody. But we're running into an hour and 20 minutes, man. I'm gonna ask for permission here. Do I have time for a shameless plug? Because I want to talk my shit, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Is
Go
that a
ahead.
yes?
Get it off your chest, brother.
He wasn't
Go ahead. Do your thing.
So let's talk
Show
about-
the jersey. Show the jersey.
Let's
Oh,
talk
wait,
about the
I also
Volusia County
want to
Serpents.
talk about us going to leagues.
Yeah, we can talk about that as well. But let's talk about the Volusia County Serpents, ladies and gentlemen. The Volusia County Serpents made the return to FBA competition. The Volusia County Serpents played against a visiting team from the Bahamas. We talked about it in the last pod. I let y'all know to come support and whatnot. We played the New Providence Select team. They also played against the Crocs the following night and then against the Flight that Saturday. So 3 games back to back for them. And out of the 3 FBA teams that they played, ladies and gentlemen, your very own Volusia County Serpents were the only ones that came out on top. And you can use whatever excuse you want to use. You can say this, you can say that, you can say the third. But we beat them by 15. And in the fourth quarter, we had it rolling. Yeah, it was a stop clock environment. I'm willing to admit that. I fully understand that. But guess what? We beat them by 15, and we were going crazy in the fourth. So stop the clock all you want. That would have been just more time for us to rest, to come back on the court and bust your ass some more. You know what I mean? That's
And
how
you guys
I
played them
see it.
first. They were fully rested when
Exactly.
they played you.
Fully rested.
Fully rested.
Extra rested. They didn't show up till 8 o'clock. The game tip-off was at 7. They were extra rested. They took an additional nap before they came to the game. You know what I mean? They listen. You can make up whatever excuses you want to make up. You know, I hear the rumblings. I hear the whispers. I hear what everybody got to say. At the end of the day, you cannot deny the simple fact. We were the only team that were able to beat them. The only team. And we didn't stack up our roster. We brought the same guys that have jerseys already sitting at home waiting to play again. You know what I mean? With their names on the back. We ain't go call no professional basketball players. We ain't go call no social media influencers to hop on our teams.
Talk your shit.
We called
your shit.
Volusia County
Not
Serpents.
Moss.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I called. I called Volusia County Serpents to suit up and play against these damn Bohemians. And at the end of Saturday night, what did I see? Apparently, they were difficult to beat. We didn't notice. We didn't know. We didn't know. Everybody else apparently they were hard to beat. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. I could tell. I can't relate. That's what I'm gonna say. We can't relate. That's my shit for the day.
It's a unique experience for you guys, not for the Serpents. And listen, if you guys don't like what Nas is saying, pull up on us Saturday at GM5. We're gonna be there 10 to 2. You can have some words with him in the parking lot. I don't care.
What?
No.
What?
I'll facilitate it, bro.
What?
I'm not gonna be a part of that.
Always the short motherfucker, bro.
Jump this man. Jump this man.
It's like a fucking chihuahua,
I'll
man.
jump in
all,
with you.
all bark, no bite. Golly. What the
Hey, I
fuck?
promise y'all.
I promise you, I'll kick him with you. I promise you. I got some kicks for his bitch ass. I promise.
Listen, we'll finish off the pod with a little announcement. We'll clip it up and put it on social media. The Hooptalk podcast is going to stop by some rec leagues for the remainder of the year. We have at least 2 rec leagues that will be starting. 3, but 2 of them start on the same day. So the Hooptalk podcast is going to join some rec leagues coming up. I believe the next one up is going to be Barnett Park Gym. They have a rec league starting September 28th, and we're going to do everything in our power to show up for their opening day. Watch those games. You know, we're going to try and do our best to commentate and record. We'll see how it works. These gyms have more difficult setups. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy to put ourselves in a comfortable spot to do something, but we're going to try. So catch us at Barnett Park September 8th, 28th, I apologize. Catch us at Barnett Park September 28th with our equipment, ready to talk some shit, ready to see what talent they have to offer over there. That's a whole different side of Orlando than we're used to. So we hope to see new talent. We hope to see new highlights, man, coaches, players, whatever the case may be. So if you have anybody that's going to be there, go pull up for them, man. Go to the stands, go to the bleachers, yell, scream, shout, do whatever you got to do, man, because we're going to be there. We're going to talk our shit. We're going to make it another podcast topic, and we're excited. And then we're going to choose what other league. I think there's 2 leagues that start October 6th. We got to choose which one of them we want to go to. I guess we're going to do our research, see what teams are going to be playing, what players are going to be there, and decide based off of that. Because obviously we can't be at 2 places at once just yet, but soon come. So catch us at Barnett Park, ladies and gentlemen, September 28th. First game, I believe, is at 4 p.m. 4 or 4:30, one of the 2. So it's right in the middle of the day. You can come catch some games, then head home and have the rest of your night to yourself and your family. So catch the crew at Barnett Park, man. We'll be there.
And don't forget, every Saturday we're at GM5, 10 to 2. Crooms Academy in Sanford, Florida.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hooptalk
also,
podcast every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Don't forget.
Real quick, this is just a little plug-in for GM5. I saw Burger post it. Anybody who watches us who doesn't mind, who sells food, food truck or anything, they are looking for people to kind of hold that down. Hit GM5 directly on their Instagram. I just wanted to throw that out just to show some love. And one, I miss having food at these events. I mean, Tyler will tell you.
Fat, bro.
We're all
Fat
on a
ass.
plus size committee. We're a plus size committee crew will be here.
I love eating. I promise.
Yeah, and I'm here for like some snacks and stuff. So I don't want to have to drive out to the gas station to get a Gatorade or something like that. So please hit up GM5. Let them know they need someone there to do concession. So they're willing to work with you guys. So yeah, tell them I brought you, so I get free food for the rest of the season.
We get commission. We get commission on all sales. Keep that in mind.
I don't. Apparently they do. But that's all we got, ladies and gentlemen. That's Hooptalk, the podcast, man. We appreciate y'all for tapping in this far. If you made it to this point, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like, comment, and share with all your Hooper friends and family or non-Hooper friends and family. Whoever you think is going to love us the most, share. Let them know that Hooptalk is here. We're out of here, man. Deuces.
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 All right, y'all boys.